Hello, hello! Welcome to Alicyn's Wonderland, the show that takes you through the looking glass and down the rabbit hole into the wild and wonderful world of animation and video games. Thank you so much. My name is Alicyn Packard. I'm your host. Thanks to everybody that's joining in live. It always brings so much more energy and excitement when we have everybody on live. So I want to say thank you to guys for that so much. If you're new to the show, Alicyn's Wonderland is an interview show where I sit down with people either I've worked with in animation and video games or people whose work I really admire. And tonight's guest, Brian Hull, is one of those people. I'm sure you know Brian. Brian has been a voice of our generation for a number of years, best known for his interesting and creative impressions on YouTube, as well as his voice acting and original content creation. Brian is such a force of positivity and good, and I'm so excited to welcome him onto the show. I'm sure you guys are as well. So I'm going to go ahead and without further ado, hey, let me say hey real quick to everybody that's jumping on. Brian Hernandez, Crazy Anime Geek, I think you're tuning in for the first time. CB Puppets, good to see you back. Kane, Peyton Snag, Swirly Imagination Studios. I got your video and I will respond. Sorry about that. Matthew, Jeff, good to see you. Rob, Caleb, Peyton. Thank you guys so much for joining us live. I'm going to go ahead and welcome Brian Hull. Thank you. If you guys are wondering what we're listening to, that was a remix of Pogo, and what he does is take Disney songs and appropriate them and remix them into some amazing like compilations. So I thought that was kind of apropos to have on as our background music. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you today?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm great. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you too. Hump day, yay!
Hey, it's hump day. You know what that means. Hump day. I'm drinking water. Yeah, it's so good to see your face. How was your day so far?
It was pretty good, getting work done, making more videos, doing all that good stuff. Can't complain.
Nice. Yeah. I see there's a lot of people jumping on the stream. Thanks for sharing it and everything. I figured we would just take it back to the beginning, start at the very beginning with kind of how you got your start. Sorry, someone is texting me. How you got your start in this whole wide world. Now, I know you were a vocal performance major, and so I'm sure all of that amazing skills lent itself to what you do now, but like the trajectory isn't quite A to B. So I'm curious, how did you get there?
Well, it's kind of a weird story because I was going to school for vocal performance, but not for the vocal performance I ended up doing. No, my degree is in music, specifically opera and musical theater. So I was, learning all the classical works and having some fun with like George Frederick Handel back from like the good old, I think Handel was like 1750s, 1800s, something like that.
Whoa, taking it way back.
Yeah. So I was going to school for all that because I was in school and, I started, I was in 5th grade. And so all the girls that I knew were going into choir. And so I'm like, well, hey, that's where all the girls are going. That's where I should go. And so I went and ended up falling in love with music. Didn't really get any girlfriends from it, but I fell in love with music. So there was that.
Came for the girls, stay for the tunes.
Exactly. So, it kind of just turned into, that's just what I did at school all throughout middle school, high school, college. I was just always in music and always in vocal performance and always just doing that stuff. And me doing voices and impressions was just something I did for fun on the side. It was just something I like to do in my spare time. But one of the things that I ended up learning while I was doing all my musical training was when you're trained in classical singing, like in opera specifically, they actually teach you how to manipulate your voice to get that operatic sound. So they would teach us, it's like, okay, if you have a student that has a very nasal sound, have them raise their soft palate in the back of their throat and do all this. I'm like, so if I do the opposite, I'll get the very nasal voice. So I like reverse engineered everything they taught me to make all the cartoon characters.
Wow. And were you like, I mean, did you have a buddy you were doing this with, or were you just kind of like on your own, just
No,
making crazy voices in your room?
nope. It was just me. All of my friends, none of my friends did this. I
Dude,
eventually
we
had,
so would have been friends in high school. I just
yeah.
wish. We'd be like in our closets, like, hi, how's it going? It's like,
Oh, it's
dude.
going real good, pal. No.
Yeah, can I get your autograph, Mickey? You sound cool.
Okay, you could have my autograph. This is what makes it sound like when the camera's not on.
After a pack of Parliament menthol lights.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happens.
So fifth grade, you're developing your own repertoire. You're learning and growing as a singer and learning how to manipulate your voice. And then how did YouTube work into the whole equation?
Well, YouTube was just something I did to save me some sleep. Because in middle school and high school, I started to get known around the school for impressions. Because it's like, there were times at lunch where I'd go in and it was just, I'd jump from table to table to table to table. Because everyone's like, hey, Brian, come do this voice for us. And then I'd do a couple voices for them. And the next table's like, no, you got to come over here and do that for us. I lost a lot of lunches. Like, I never got to eat two of them. And then if friends had like people spending the night, I'd get calls at like 10 or 11 midnight when I'm trying to sleep for school, and I'm not a night owl. I'm early to bed kind of guy.
Yeah.
So just to get some sleep, and so nobody would mess with me, I was just like, I put them on YouTube, show them that, do not call me, let them sleep.
Wow.
So
and so everybody just started racking up the views because they needed that sleepover slumber party fix.
Yeah, so that's how it started, and I never expected it to get any bigger than that. And then back in the day, I was making a lot of videos for school and church and other things like that. And back then, you couldn't go get a thumb drive with like 12 gigs on it. You know, you remember back when thumb drives first came out, they were like, here's a huge one. It's like 20 megabytes.
It's 256 megabytes.
It's like, you can fit so much on there. You can fit like 12 pictures. You know? And so, like, I'd have to bring these videos places, and I was using iMovie just because I didn't have anything else. And each video was like 4 gigs. So I'm like, wow. Instead of trying to force it onto a thumb drive, which didn't really work, or all this other stuff, or get a thumb drive that had like 3 gigs on it for like, what, $500? I just started uploading it to YouTube and just sending a link to them. It's just like, okay, there you go, because that's a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah. And so when did you start to really gain traction on that channel? Because your channel's like 11 years old or something.
The channel itself is 11, but I've only been doing it seriously for 7.
7. Okay.
And
yeah.
That was how all that started. I was in college at the time, and I was flat broke. You know, I was in a musical that we were doing at the school. I was in Phantom of the Opera, and my school was a little school, so we didn't actually have a theater on campus. So we'd have to like drive to this theater like 20 minutes away. We'd rehearse there, come back. I had to take a lot of time off of my part-time job and all this other stuff. So I'm like, I don't have money, but I'm a nerd, and I want Frozen and Saving Mr. Banks on Blu-ray. So I found the website that was like, hey, sing your own cover of Let It Go. You could win a $100 gift card to the Disney store. And I'm like, that's my ticket. That's how I'm going to get my movies. So I sang Let It Go as 20 some odd Disney characters trying to just win a gift card. And I got a career instead. So
a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Wow. Did that just blow your mind?
Yes. And it was just when you get that much traction that fast, literally overnight, it's just shocking. For like the first couple of days, I was just like, I'm going to wake up soon. I'm going to wake up and this is all going to go away because I'm dreaming, right?
Did you wake
and
up?
I never woke up. This is the longest dream of my life where it was real.
It would really suck to wake up now and be back in college.
Yes.
What?
Oh,
Wow, that's so amazing. I mean, and what was your family's response to all that?
the response was they were thrilled. They were
Yeah.
absolutely thrilled because, my parents, I love them to death. But it was also very much like for the longest time, it was like do you really want to pursue entertainment? It's hard to make a living, that whole classic thing. But the
Yeah.
second all happened, they're like, okay, we get it now. Go for it. So it's like, all right.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What a difference that one video, having never made that one video, could have made. The
Yeah, I do
world.
now because my parents before were like, just like, what are you doing watching Winnie the Pooh and cartoons? Get doing your schoolwork. And now I get the call. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, nothing. You got a movie? Put it in. Do Winnie the Pooh. Do cartoon characters. Get to work. It's totally flip-flopped, and I love it.
Totally. Oh my gosh, what an amazing story. For everybody that's tuning in, I just want to let you know, because Alicyn's Wonderland is a show that later becomes an audio podcast, we don't do as much interacting with everybody on the live stream these days. So I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in live. And that down at the bottom, there's a little question box right there. So if you have questions or comments for Brian, we'll take them at the end and go ahead and put them in there. We're so grateful that you're here live. It means the world to us. So I definitely want to take some questions for you guys. If you don't know what this show is, it's a weekly interview show where I sit down with people that work in animation and video games. So Brian, I mean, how long were you like a Disney fan? Would you say you were always a huge Disney fan, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When everyone started to like grow out of Disney, I just never understood it. I just never stopped, And I feel like it's gotten stronger as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
It's like, you watch them whenever you watch Disney movies and you go to the parks as a kid and you see the movie or you see the parks one way. And then as you get older, you watch it again and you start seeing stuff you never noticed before.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that message in The Lion King meant something more to you now as an adult than it did as a kid, or that message in Beauty and the Beast, or like that one interaction is like, oh, that felt real.
The circle of life.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there. I'm turning 30 this year. Don't do that.
Just wait till you have a kid. I will tell you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely. I mean, there's so much built in why all their stuff is, relevant in every generation and so timeless, because these themes and this method of storytelling is just so universal. It really is amazing. Do you remember the first time you went to Disney World or Disneyland?
The first time I went, I don't remember too much. I was pretty young. My parents took me with my grandparents. I want to say I was 4?
California?
3 or 4. Oh, no, this was World.
Disney World, okay.
I never went to Disneyland until I was an adult.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I grew up in Texas, and my parents were like, if we're spending all that money, we're doing more than just, we're doing more than one park. Because at the time, Disney California Adventure didn't exist yet.
Got it. Wow. Yeah. So so you just, was that like another level of infatuation, or?
Yeah, because I didn't get to do the parks a whole lot as a kid. I went once when I was really young, and then we went one more time when I was about 10 or so, and that one left a huge impact. But then after that, we never went. So my parents are very much, they're not really theme park people. They're very much beach. They love the beach. So it's like every vacation we go to the beach, and I'm like, we could do theme parks too. It's like, but beach. It's like, but we've done beaches for like 5 years in a row. And it's like, yeah, when you pay for a vacation, we could do a theme park. So now I was a Disneyland pass holder, and I was there like every other week, and it was great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it's so close now. Have you been back recently?
Yes, I actually there 2 days ago. I was there on Monday.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What was your observation? Did it feel the same?
It's different, but the magic's still there, As of right now, though, I went right before all the mask mandates got lifted and everything. So maybe now it's totally different. But when I went on Monday, it's like, you still had to wear masks and everything, and it was all that. So there was that to adhere to. And it was just hot.
I was going to say, we're in the middle of a major heat wave here. It was like in the 90s today. It must have been so hot down at Disneyland.
It wasn't like, I mean, it was hot. I think it just touched like 90 degrees whenever we were there, but I think it's hotter now than it was when I went the other day. So I was just like, I'm glad I did it before it got too hot.
Did you go on any wet rides?
No, we were mainly going just to see Avengers Campus because last time we went, it was like a 5-hour line to get in, and we couldn't even get the Spider-Man ride tickets. We're just like, I don't want to wait for 5 hours just to not ride anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. So I was wondering, so you started doing these impressions and, you started making these YouTube videos, and then you have this viral hit, but then, a lot of times people have one viral hit and they're not quite sure how to keep that going. It's one thing to go viral one time and it's another thing to be a consistent content creator. So what was it that like clued you in to like, oh, I should make more of these and not just be, oh, I'll make more in a year, but have the consistency that you need to continue to grow on a platform like YouTube?
This is gonna sound bad, but what got me to do it was desperation. Because after Let It Go came out, I talked with a few companies. Like I got in contact by Disney. I got in contact by people over at DreamWorks, and I never thought I was good enough to be a voice actor. And then after hearing them talk to me, it's like, okay, well, I need to go give this a shot. And everyone was saying if you want to work with these guys, you have to live in LA. So I moved out here, found an agent, and I'm sure you've lived this. I'm sure it's like you can audition as a day is long, but you're not guaranteed any work. So you got to do something to pay the bills and to keep everything going. And I was happy to have a part-time job when I came out, but it wasn't anywhere close to paying LA rent. So I'm like, well, my other option is a bunch of people watch this video. If I make more, can this sustain me? And it took a few years to build it up to where it could, but once it did, that's my full-time job now. So I can't ever get fired from that one, so that's nice.
You'd have to get fired so many times. It's like each person is sort of, I guess, one part of the puzzle. So I mean, yeah, you have that career longevity in a way because you've created. I don't know if you've ever heard of the theory that if you have, the magic number has always been 10,000 true fans that would just support you no matter what. If you put out an album, buy your t-shirt, that you'll always sort of be taken care of and be able to have creative freedom. So I think that's so interesting, especially with numbers like 2.3 million followers on YouTube and stuff. How that you've been able to segue that into a career. And so is that through like ads? Is that mainly through merch or a combination of both?
It's mainly ad revenue. That's my primary income, but I do have my merch, and then I've also got a few other things that I do. But yeah, ad revenue is always the biggest one.
So guys, watch those commercials on YouTube. Don't bypass them.
I mean, if you still hit the skip button, we still get paid, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. I've been sitting through a lot of commercials trying to support.
I mean, that ad in and of itself, we get paid less regardless of whether you click the button or not. So, and that's just what that ad is. So if you just see the button, it's like, it's just a cheaper ad. But we're still going to get paid. So you can skip it. It's okay. I'm sure a lot of people who don't understand how that works are just screaming at me right now.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't. It's a magical world out there, and you've just tapped into it. But I think it's really a testament for if you follow your passions, that it comes. Because I mean, that's just such a magical story nobody could have predicted. And I think something that I've always been attracted to about your work, and I'm sure other people, is the positivity that you bring and this life-affirming kindness that you radiate. And we should talk in our character voices, someone saying, you got some life-affirming characters, and you're like
Hearts of Fury.
Oh, thank you. You know, I do appreciate that. I do my best to be as I try to do my best to be as uplifting as possible.
Yeah, well, it's just the hug the world needs, you know? Sometimes there are those of us that just can just hopefully provide that safe space where it's okay to be silly and it's okay to be a kid.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yes. Well, so singing. Let's talk singing. Do you ever write your own? I mean, obviously you've got your impressions that you write out and everything. But are you also a songwriter? Have you dabbled in that?
I've dabbled very little. For a brief moment in college, I tried to be a composer because I was, you know, I wanted to be in entertainment in the film industry so bad, but I'm like, I'm not good enough to get in there. But I know music. I could maybe learn how to write the scores, you know, write the background music.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
I know every little aspect of entertainment is so specific and so niche and also very challenging. And that is definitely one of them. I want to get some composers on the show as well. I mean, it's amazing what people are doing with music these days. I don't know if you saw Arlo the Alligator Boy, Ryan Kriegel on the show a few weeks ago, and you know they co-wrote all those songs, and they're just so good.
They really are.
All the Disney musicals, all the Pixar, it's just really so so breathtaking and so inspiring. So, but a lot of sitting, a lot even more sitting than we have. So, unless you have a standing desk, yeah, that's so interesting. So, do you feel like maybe you know doing a little song for us? Maybe like singing something.
I could probably do a little something.
Okay.
Let's see.
Do you do backing track or do you just go a cappella?
I could get one of my backing tracks, maybe.
Do you need me to vamp?
See.
It's
Okay.
Sally's show. There's like this comedian that when I was a kid was always on TV and she would sing, "That's Judy's show," as she like pretended to slide down her spit curl. It was like this comedian from the 70s. And I always wonder whose bit was that? If anybody knows, please DM me.
I don't know that one.
It's a little before your time.
I guess I could do a little bit just because it's been on my brain forever. That new TikTok trend, "Into the Thick of It." Well, I mean, it's not really
Oh, sure.
not a new song or anything. I just have like, I don't know, maybe
Backyardigans.
Yeah, maybe Mickey, Goofy, and Winnie the Pooh doing it.
Oh, perfect.
I guess I'll do. Into the thick of it, not into the thick of it, not into the thick of it. Gosh, we're tramping through the bush, on and on we push. Into the thick of it, but we can't see where we're going. I threw in Tigger too, just because I thought it would be.
Hooray! Oh my gosh, look at all the hearts you're getting down there in the corner. Pikachu's like lighting up. It looks like the hearts are going straight up to Pikachu.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
Aw, thank you. That was so great. So a lot of people, I see a lot of comments coming up asking about your big new announcement about the project you've been working on, Hotel Transylvania Part 4, and you are going to be starring as Dracula. What can you tell us about the new movie?
What I can tell you about the new movie is Dracula and the gang are getting a whole makeover. You know, Johnny's getting turned into a monster. Dracula's turning into a human. So is Frankenstein and Murray the Mummy and the Invisible Man. Everybody's just getting flip-flopped. If they were a monster, they're a human now. And if they were human, they're a monster. And it's going to be a wild and crazy ride.
Wow. What was it like recording for Dracula?
It was it was amazing overall, but extremely intimidating, you know, because like I've done voice work before this, but most of them are just like small cameo roles or like for a smaller feature. And then this shows up and it's like, oh, I'm in like every scene. Yeah. And I have to fill the shoes of Adam Sandler for this.
Yeah.
Okay. But I couldn't have asked for like better set of directors and better producers and everybody. They were just a blast to work with, and they worked really hard with me to make sure that we kept the character of Dracula but still made him feel fresh. And you know, we got to play a lot with, like, since he's turning into a human, it was fun to play with like that physicality. It's like, okay, well, how would he be different from vampire to human? And that was just really fun to traverse and work around. But
wow.
for those of y'all who sit there thinking, oh, these people never deal with anxiety with themselves or anything like that. No, I was watching like all 3 movies before, like the day before each time, and I'd be listening to one of them on the way to the studio, and I'm like, I'm not going to screw this up. I'm not going to screw this up. I'm not going to screw this up.
We've all been there. We've all been there. You know, I think that's an interesting, and why don't we talk about that a little bit? Because, you know, from the outside looking in, it always seems like the person on the screen has the answers. And especially, you know, I don't think anyone in the whole wide world would deny that you're extremely talented. But the confidence, I mean, I get that too. It's like, it's a whole nother piece to then, you can never compare yourself to anybody else because there's a lot of talented people, frankly, in the world. And so how do you deal with that when you start to feel anxiety, performance anxiety, or feel that maybe your work isn't going to be good enough?
I wish I was better at controlling
Cry.
But it's easier for me to overcome it in a voiceover session just because if I'm doing it with a YouTube video, I'm alone, and I'm like, there's no other voice to hear but my own, so that's harder. But when when I'm in a booth, like, we're on a time crunch, I got to get this done. So the way I push through it is I have to keep reminding myself, it's like, we're redoing this line again, not because you're bad, but because they are just looking for something a little different. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean you're awful. It doesn't mean your performance was bad. They just want something different, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and we all have that kind of, that limiting belief voice inside that if we let it, will just stand in our way, you know? And it's like, sometimes you just got to be like, okay, you zip it, go away. I'm not engaging with you right now, because otherwise you can continue to take yourself out of the game, I think.
Yeah. And when you're doing it in a booth with the director there and everything, you've got to be able to do that on the spot really quickly, because it can be something as simple as, like, you do the line and then they come back and say, like, okay, that's great, but can we play it sincere and not sarcastic? And in your head, you're like, I thought I was reading that sincere. That's not sarcastic. What did I do to make it sound sarcastic? And you've got to, like, shut that off real quick and just
you're like, sure we can. No, that was sincere. We could totally read it like that.
And then you got to, like, tell yourself, it's like, don't come out and just say, like, I thought that was being sincere. Just shut it up and just, like, okay, overdo the sincerity then, and you can always pull it back. Just get in there. And then a lot of times you think you're overdoing it, but it's exactly what they want. So because half of it is just getting that communication between you and the directors, you know, or the producers or anyone, because in their mind, they say one thing looking for a result, but that may, their words may bring a completely different result to your brain. It's like, I know we had to go through that a bit. Like, this was actually for the short film that came out before the movie. We were working at one of the last lines was Dracula sees Tinkles, the dog, now playing with the cat, and it's like really cute. And he just says like oh, have fun, Tinkles. And apparently when I first did it, it came off as less sweet and sincere and a little creepy. I didn't mean for that at all.
I mean, he's a vampire.
That. I was like, I promise I didn't mean it that way. So it's like we had to, like, work through a couple things, and then we ended up winning on a thing. They were just like, they were trying to get me to say it like I say it to my dog, but it didn't quite work. But then whenever they're like, well, do you have kids? I'm like, no, but I have nieces. It's like, okay, say it like you say it to your niece. And then that was what did it. So, you know, it took a while to get there, but we eventually got there, and it worked out great. But you know, you've just gotta you've just gotta be willing to, you know, put your pride aside for a second and put aside your own anxiety to just be like, there's nothing, it's not that you're doing wrong, it's just there's a miscommunication and let's figure it out.
Yeah, and I guess that's another interesting point of animation is when you're an on-camera actor, really, it's you and the writer. I mean, it's all the pieces, but what people are seeing is you, your voice, your face, your body, versus animation when you are just a part of this character, and then the other part is the character design and the animation, the storyboard artists, and how they all come together to be how this person moves through space and how this person physicalizes it. So it's like you're really just one piece. So it's so much more of a collaborative effort, I think.
Yeah, and I thoroughly enjoy doing that even more than, you know, just doing on-camera stuff, just because then, like, you get to see how you delivered a performance. In your mind, you're thinking, oh, it would happen this way, and that's how the characters would do it. But then a lot of times the animators just go off on a completely different direction that works even better than what you were thinking. It's just like, oh, that was so cool.
Isn't that, I mean, have you seen Transylvania 4? Have you seen it yet or no? No.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, for the short, what was that like, seeing your character come to life in that way?
Well, the short was a little different. I don't know what happened with the production of this one, but by the time I came on, the short was finished. So we ADR'd the entire short. So I got to see it all done, which was cool. But now the cool part is with the film, I've had to go in for an ADR session now, and I've gotten to see some of the animation done. And every second that they show me, I'm just sitting over there like a giddy 5-year-old, just like, that was so good. Can we watch it again?
A lot of people asking to see Sandy. Is your pup around? That's your puppy,
No,
right?
She is not, unfortunately. I don't work out of my home at the moment, so she's at home right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of like when it comes 360, when you get to be able to see your work. Did you get the chance to work with Selena Gomez?
No, I didn't get to talk with any of the other cast members. Yeah. So, yeah.
Did you record it from home because of the pandemic, or was that before or after the pandemic?
We were doing this all during the pandemic, and luckily I was actually able to go in to do it. So we were actually able to physically do it, but like everyone was on Zoom except for one of the directors who was there in person with me, and like he was the only other person in the room, and he was like 20 feet away from me, and then like the recording artist was in the other room, and you know, they totally sealed off from us. So it was really nice to be able to be in the studio and do that. But yeah,
that's amazing. I also saw that you have a new, you're going to be working with, I just want to make sure I get the name right, a new charity that you are doing a live stream for. I'm sorry, can you refresh my memory?
Yes, that's Kirith Crossing. That's actually one that me and my friends are starting. Like we're creating that one.
Is this the launch?
Sort of right now, we're just getting all the materials together to get started. So like we've already filed all of our paperwork to become a nonprofit, but we're not like a 501(c)(3) yet. So we're waiting for that to get approved. And this last live stream was to raise money for a website and for some early starting costs and stuff like that. But yeah, our intention is to like, get this up and running and getting to where we can help people with it.
That's amazing. Can you tell us all about your mission?
Yeah, so our mission is to help those with autism or non-neurotypical thinking to be able to help them live their best life. So like the idea would be like if they need help getting into like colleges, we'd be able to find colleges that could suit their needs and hopefully be able to help them financially to be able to go there and get the help that they need to succeed. Or like if they needed a car or anything like that, we could work with them to do that. Or if they needed some kind of help and they wanted to make sure they were getting good help for either therapeutic reasons or for medical reasons or anything like that, we could point them in directions that would be optimal for their needs and what would be best for them.
And how did this come about, the idea for this charity?
This came about because my best friend, who many of y'all, if y'all follow my stuff, will know him, Paul. He was on the Bippity Boppity Bros podcast with me, and he's done a few videos with me. He is a licensed clinical social worker and has been working in this field for over a decade, just doing all this. And this is something that's been on his heart forever. Yeah. And so he came to us saying, it's like, he really wants to get this going. And we're like, well, dude, yeah, we're going to help you. This sounds awesome.
Yeah. A lot of people on the live stream chiming in that they are also autistic. So I'm sure this charity really resonates with a lot of people to bring support and awareness to anybody that's on the spectrum. That's such an amazing mission and amazing charity. How can we get involved?
Well,
still figuring it out.
Yeah, right now we're still kind of in the early processes, but once we get our website built, which if y'all stay tuned on my Instagram, on Paul's Instagram, the second the website is up and running, y'all can go. There will be donation links there that you can send to help us get going. And yeah, just once the website's done, if y'all can just spread the word around, word of mouth, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, happy to help with that as well. That's such an amazing charity and such a great cause, you know, to let people know, no matter if they have different neurological thinking, that they can live their best life. I mean, that's
absolutely
play. It's beautiful. Aww.
Well, thank you.
Petty, petty. So soft, so cuddly. Let's see, where do we want to take it? You were talking about Twitch streaming, and I was wondering where you're at that, and where our viewers can find you on Twitch.
At Twitch, you can find me at Brian Hull's, I think it's Brian Hull's Voice. It's either Brian Hull's Voice or Brian Hull's Voices. Sometimes I have to.
Is Brian Hull already taken? Just Brian Hull?
A lot of them are.
Really?
There's a lot of other Brian Hulls. I've never met one, but when I went online, they're everywhere. I'm like, where are y'all? Like, where are you? Yeah. But yeah, the Twitch streaming is going to start very soon. So you'll go on there now, and there's not really anything yet, but there will be very, very soon.
That's exciting. And what types of streaming are you looking to do? Just more conversations with fans, or a different modality?
I'm going to do a mixture of being able to talk and just doing impressions and just kind of having hangouts. And then also do a lot of gaming. That's something that's been a huge part of.
Are you a gamer?
Oh, I am definitely a gamer.
Nice. Are you playing Ratchet and Clank?
I haven't got it yet, but I need to. Because I'm like, PS5 exclusive, or is that PS4 also?
It is, yeah.
It's
I have a couple voices on there. I'm doing Chef Tulio and one of the Quantum Pirates.
Nice.
It looks amazing. I can't wait to play it.
I need to get a PS5, but I can't find them.
Guys, I mean, somebody send Brian a PS5. Somebody's got a PS5 on here, and they want you to have it. Maybe just let you borrow it. I don't have a PS5 either, but I've been watching the playthroughs on YouTube, and it looks amazing.
I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, I must get this. But,
so what are some of your favorite games?
Oh, my absolute favorite of all time. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually on my... Oh, you got to see it now.
It's me, Mario.
Oh, Mario's up there, but I was actually talking about these little guys right above him. Banjo Kazooie, if y'all are big fans of him.
Tell me all about it.
So this is an old school game. This was back in the 90s. So like late 90s on your N64, it was one of like the first 3D platformers after like Super Mario 64.
64, boom.
Yeah. I think that one was like the big first one, and then this one was like 2 years after. But nice. This one has been my favorite game forever. But yeah, wow. Banjo Kazooie, and I bought this.
Are they gotta remake that?
I hope so. I hope so. Something awful, because these characters just got put into Smash like last year, Smash Bros. Everyone lost their minds who were fans, and I'm like, does this mean we're gonna get remakes? Do it, do it.
They're gonna need someone a voice match.
If they want it, all they gotta do is ask.
If you build it, it will come, guys. Banjo Kazooie. Everybody put some good vibes into the universe.
Let's get Banjo.
And what are you playing now? Is there anything is that what you would Twitch stream or something different?
It would depend on what's going on and what new stuff is coming out. I know that they just announced Jurassic World Evolution 2. I would absolutely play that. I love my park builders. So if y'all love park builders like Planet Zoo and Jurassic World Evolution, I will definitely do that. Then I was a huge fan of like Horizon Zero Dawn that came out a while back. Did you play that one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that one was fun. Do you like giant robotic dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Well, just imagine that mixed with like Hunger Games.
Oh my God. I would have come play video games with you, Brian. That would be so fun.
Yes.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is also next for YouTube? I know you've been focusing on your other social media and obviously recording a movie. Do you have any new YouTube stuff coming out?
Yes, we definitely got more YouTube stuff coming on the way. I've got a couple of songs in the works right now. They're just being, all the tracks are being mixed right now. Now that the parks are back open, I've gone back to Disneyland and talked with those characters again. It's been unique to say the least with the masks and the social distancing, but we still had a lot of fun. Donald wasn't thrilled to see me, but that's okay.
I mean, at this point, don't they recognize you? I mean, they must know that you're coming, that it's you, right? Or no?
Not to break Disney illusion, but I know that there's a few of the friends who are with the characters who know who I am. So like I'll walk up and before I even start talking, like the friends who are with the characters will pipe up and just be like, "Oh, it's great to see you again." And sometimes they'll just call me by my name and it's just like, that's kind of
royalty. They're like, I feel like it should be 101 for the Disney training. Like, okay, today we're gonna role play that you have like a 5-year-old kicking you in the shins, and today we're gonna role play that Brian comes to Disneyland and you interact with him. Okay, make us look good.
Yeah, but there have been times where like the character will see me and like ask me to come get in line to come meet him or something. Because like I know that happened once. I was in Critter Country. I was getting off with a Winnie the Pooh ride with a bunch of my friends, and we saw the characters off to the side, and like there was a line, but they were like in between people. And one of my friends was like, "Hey, just yell at him like Tigger or something." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was just like, "Hi there, pal." And then like all turned around and they're like tapping each other like, "Oh my gosh," and like go over and they're like pointing like, "Get in line, get in line."
Meanwhile, like some 5-year-old's like, "Yeah, back of the line, bud."
Oh, I was going to the back of the line. I waited my
No,
turn.
yeah. No, of course it does. I mean, I feel like you should get cutsies, but I guess that's only fair. It is their childhood and your adulthood.
True.
We
But,
can.
but I've had a lot of magical moments with Disney, especially I went to Disneyland Paris and like I did a meet and greet in one of their main restaurants and I was doing that for a video. And apparently they had such a good time. The waiter came up later and was just like, "Hey, our friends wanted to know if you wanted to come take some pictures just with the characters alone if you needed to, so you didn't have to worry about everyone else around." I was like, "Okay." So that was really great. And they were like taking us back to like one of the party rooms that they'd only open if there was like a big convention or something. And we were taking pictures in there and it was just so cool.
Do they speak with French accents at Disney Palace?
No, actually, I heard far more British accents than I did French.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you have an absolute favorite ride at Disneyland or Disney World, I guess?
At Disney World, yeah, it would probably be either Flight of Passage or Kilimanjaro Safari. Just basically all of Animal Kingdom. I could just live there.
Yeah.
But then at Land, probably either Rise of the Resistance or Pirates.
Hmm. I can't wait to take my son back. He was only 3 when we brought him, and then, obviously couldn't go last year, but I can't wait to take him back. It's gonna
Yes.
be fun. Well, we have about 15 minutes left. Is it okay if we go to audience questions? I see we have a lot,
Sure.
and I want to, get at least get the opportunity to get a lot of them, and just say thank you to everybody that's tuning in live. I'm so grateful that you're here. If you have never seen Alicyn's Wonderland, it is a weekly interview show where I interview people that work in video games and voiceovers, either people that I've worked with before or people whose work I really admire, like Brian's. And let's see, well, we're off next week, but the week after that, let me check my calendar. We have, well, I know we have, let's see, wait, who do I have here? Oh, right, Eric Lopez, you guys. Eric is the new voice on The Simpsons. He's also in Trostopia, Young Justice. He's just kind of like booking a ton lately. And he's the new Bumblebee man on The Simpsons. So tune in for that. And then after that, we have Max Middleton, who is just a master of anime, from One Punch Man to, a million different projects. So if you guys are into that, stick around for that. So let's go to some audience questions. Let's see. Let's see. A lot of people just asking from a more specific point of view. What was it like playing Dracula? I know we talked about that a little bit, but just in general, like, what was the audition like, and how did you, move forward from that with the
The
role?
audition was kind of interesting with this one just because I have done Dracula previous to this, but it was mainly for internal purposes. Sometimes you get hired to do the scratch voice for a
Yeah.
storyboard and all that. So
Yeah.
I did that for a few of the short films, and I did it for a commercial. And then I also did a theme park ride in Dubai. I think it's I think it was
I
called
did that.
Motion.
I think I'm in that theme park too. I mean, it was a theme
What?
park. Was it like for DreamWorks?
I
Different?
think I think Motion Gate had like DreamWorks, Sony, and a few other ones in there. Which ride were you on?
Gosh, I was a squirrel. I was
That's
a squirrel.
was it like for Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Ah, because I'm like, I think I auditioned
Was it
for like
Dubai? I
Gopher.
think it was Dubai. Okay, it might have been the same ride actually. I wonder. So you were on that. So anybody tuning in from Dubai can go to the theme park. What is the theme park called?
I think it's called Motion Gate.
Motion Gate. Okay. Okay. So you know more than I do.
Yeah, well, because I got booked to go do a show out in Dubai roughly around the time that was supposed to open. So I was like talking with the people. I'm like, hey, can I go in? I want to hear this ride. I think this would be so cool. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, what dates are you going? I'm like, these dates? It's like, it opens like 3 weeks after you leave. I'm like, no, it's so close.
I know, and like it's not like you can just swing by Dubai from
Oh, yeah.
California. It's not an easy flight.
No, I think it was 16 hours. Oh, it was a lot.
Oof.
But it was nice. Our flight was like super empty. So everyone just had a row to themselves. So everyone
Hmm.
was down on the chairs, and it was so few people on it. The flight attendants were just like, I'll do whatever you want. As long as you don't break anything, we're good.
That's awesome. So you had been doing Dracula, like for
Yeah.
some small things here and there, and then when this audition came through, did the casting director know that and
Yeah.
request you?
Yeah. I think they went specifically to, I know I wasn't the only one doing sound alikes for Drac behind the scenes and whatnot. So to my understanding, they went to us who had been doing that and just had us audition from there. And then they selected from that. And it took a surprising amount of like re-auditions and like sending them more vocals and like doing some lines from the short and some things like that. And just like, I know there's not that many of us, are there? Do they need this many?
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up getting it.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's amazing. We did talk about that more in depth for the few people that had asked that question. So you can reference it as well. I will post this video to IGTV after we get off if you would like to go deeper on that topic. A lot of people asking about Dracula. And someone asking if you can do Sliminator's voice. Do you know who Sliminator is?
I cannot think of Sliminator's voice right now for the life of me.
Me neither. So next.
Sorry.
Oh, this is an interesting question. Oops. I accidentally almost reported it as I'm trying to bring it up. Do you have a favorite indie game?
Ooh,
Maybe this
that
would
is
be one of your
definitely-
new Twitch streams.
That would definitely be Undertale. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with that one.
Tell us all about it.
So when everyone kept telling me to play this game, and I'm like, really? It looks like a really bad 80s game, like before they got everything worked out. But no, the story to this game is just phenomenal. Like, it's so character-based. Like, all of these are like these simple little polygon figures, and it's like you're just walking through these lands that look kind of barren and boring at first, but then you just get swept up in this story, and the writing is so good. And I'm just like, I really want them to make a movie of this game, but then as I played the game, I'm like, this would be so hard to turn into a movie, but I kind of wish they would, but I kind of hope they don't. It's, Undertale's so good. Yeah, everyone's yelling, Sans! He's like one of the main characters that you interact with there, but it's like, yeah, you're a human that's fallen into this world that's full of monsters, and you can either spare them or kill them to save yourself and all these other things, and it's so good. I don't want to go too far into the story because I don't want to ruin nothing for nobody.
What year did it come out? Approximately.
Yeah, but I want to say 2012.
Okay. Cool. Maybe you can play it on your Twitch stream.
Maybe. That would be fun.
Here's another question that a few people are asking. They are big fans of your work, and they'd like to meet you in person, or I'm sure FaceTime isn't possible, but you also have a Cameo channel.
Yes.
Is that correct? Can you tell us a little bit about what types of services you provide on Cameo for anyone that might be interested in having you make a voicemail or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Cameo is like, you can go on there. I can do, personalized messages to people. I know I have people write me all the time that's like, hey, we're going to Disney World and we want to surprise our kids with like a message from Mickey Mouse. You can go on there and I can go like, oh boy, get ready, pal. It's time for you to go to Disney World. You know, all that good stuff. And or if you just want to wish, you have a friend who wants to wish a happy birthday, is like Winnie the Pooh or something like that, you can definitely get that done over there. Just go over to Cameo, search for my name. And yeah, if you want a personalized message for yourself, for a family member, for a friend, just something to brighten up everybody's day. That's what I'm all about.
Aw, that's awesome. Hey, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell Bodhi happy last day of school? His last day of school is on Friday in any voice you want. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, yeah. Wait, it was Brody, right?
Bodhi.
Bodhi. Okay, Bodhi.
Right. Okay.
Oh, happy last day of school, brother. It's going to be Friday, so hold on to Friday, and then you are free for the summer.
Yay!
And then do lots of surfing with your Ohana.
Hey, Brian. Thank you. That was really sweet.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like a lot of people are saying, "I love you, Brian." Kiss Fangirl 2004.
Thank you.
I wish Kiss Fangirl 2004 would tell me she loves me. Jeez. No, I'm just
You should totally tell her that.
It's not too
Totally
late.
do it.
This is a question I get. Voice actors are asked this a lot, and it's somewhat unfair, but I'm gonna put it up there because maybe you do have a favorite. Of all the voices that you've done, do you have a favorite? And I guess I'm gonna limit this to not just impressions that you do, but for characters, original characters, or characters that you've been for TV and film.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's characters that I've done, Dracula is definitely my favorite. But then I also have a very big soft spot for. You guys haven't met him yet, but he's coming soon.
Ooh.
Thumpkin. Thumpkin is a fun little character in a film I'm doing called A Fairy Tale After All. That one's an indie feature that's on the way. You guys can actually see a trailer of it on my YouTube channel.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So it's fun. It's actually going to be a live action film, but there are puppets involved. So it very much feels like Labyrinth or something like that, or like Dark Crystal-esque kind of stuff, but with more comedy.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Is it going to get
to the princess, which has always been like my dream role with Disney. It's just doing the comedic sidekicks. Those are always fun.
Yeah, I hear you. I was like, I guess I'm sort of more, I think, evil or femme fatale, but I like the sidekicks as well.
Oh, yeah.
One more question for you. As a beginning voice actor, how do you cope with not landing a gig?
Well, one of the things I had to do was I just get into this routine of I do an audition, and the second I send it off to my agent, I immediately forget I did it. Just put it out. You don't think about it again. And the good news is if you get booked, it's a pleasant surprise. You're like, oh, I forgot I auditioned for that. Great. But otherwise, you're not sitting there waiting day after day going, did I get anything? Did I get anything? Did I get anything? Because that will beat you down 8 ways to Sunday. And it's just, you do an audition and just immediately forget you did it, get your mind on something else, and just go on with your life.
Do you ever coach on your auditions, or do you mostly do them on your own?
I mostly do them on my own. Back in the pre-COVID days, I used to try to go like once a week in to my agents where like there'd actually be a coach there and like you could actually get some feedback. But, you know, especially right now, I've just been doing everything on my own.
Yeah. Do you do commercials and other forms of voiceover as well?
Yes. Yeah. I've done commercials for the California Lottery, Walmart. I've done them for, there was another one I can't think of right now. I think it was a Christmas thing. Yeah. A lot of them were singing ads. So that was fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like one of them was for McDonald's. That's what it was. McDonald's. And it was like a Christmas carol for the McRib. And I still remember all the words. It was like, 'tis the season for McRib. Go and get your saucy bib. Take drip, tangy barbecue. It's delicious through and through. And it's like, there were 3 other singers with me, and we did like the full-on, it sounded like a legit group of carolers. And at the end, we got to do that ba-ba-ba-ba. And we're all like, we get to do the ba-ba-ba-ba. And
now they have everybody do it. Now they have every voice actor do it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That's so cool, and cool that you remember that as well. So that's like, you can do like the full on session singing, like pro singer, not just like, we need just like a singer that sounds like a normal person. You can kind of not be the best singer. You can do like the real, we want like a legit singer one.
Yeah, which was interesting for the Walmart one, that we actually walked in and they wanted us to do kind of like a mock operatic thing for the entire ad, but they didn't write music for us. They're like, oh, just come up with it as you go along. And I'm like, that's not how this works. So I actually had to write the music there on the spot so that we had something to work with.
Oh my God.
And luckily they liked it, and I'm sitting there going, I should get paid more for writing your music for you.
Wait, you had to write the melody, like, or listen to it and write the notes? You had to write the melody? Oh my God, that's so funny.
It wasn't anything too crazy. Like, I mean, I didn't write all the background music or anything, but just like it was me and another singer So like we both had to sing it. So like I figured out what she would sing and I figured out what I'd sing because they wanted her to do like really high soprano and I was supposed to do really low bass. So it's like, we're going to do this. It should be a nice cadence. And I know enough music theory to know that this will sound good. It won't sound amazing, but it'll sound good. So go.
I love that. This question's come up a few times. Are elephants your favorite animal? Because they're my favorite animal.
They are. Yes, they're mine.
I gotta show you. My son made me the cutest little elephant thing out of perler beads for Mother's Day. Yeah, you love elephants too? Aren't they the best?
Oh, they are.
You're not left-handed, are you?
No,
okay.
Right-handed.
I feel like you're like my soul brother or something. Yeah, elephants.
Yeah,
I guess that's that question. Do you have like a personal relationship or any kind of stories with elephants or?
Not really. I've just always loved them.
They're just so cool.
Yeah.
They're really sensitive.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I know that we are coming up on an hour, and I am going to meet you in person. We discussed that. Oh, these are my answered questions. Oh, this is a really good question. So I'm going to ask 2 more questions. If you were given the opportunity to teach a master class, would you do it?
Ooh, maybe a few more years down the line, but I feel like I'm still learning a lot myself, so I don't know what kind of master class I would teach.
Mm-hmm. Manipulating your voice for impressions, maybe?
I guess maybe, but I still feel like I have a lot to learn even in that department because like I feel like there's still a lot of potential that I haven't gotten to yet.
Do you coach other voice actors?
No. Once again, I feel like I have done some voiceover work and it's been great and I've been thrilled with what I've gotten, but most of them are like one-liner cameo things aside from a couple commercials. So I'm like, I think I need to get more experience under my belt before I can really start coaching people.
And that's what we're working on, right?
Yeah.
Brian, what are you the most proud of yourself for?
Really just taking a chance and pursuing all of this. Because when I first made Let It Go, I was petrified beyond belief. Because I'm like, this was not what I was planning on doing. My plans were not to come to California. They were not to go into voiceover. They were not to try YouTube. That wasn't even in my realm of thinking. And now, in a matter of days, that's not only on the horizon for me, but it makes sense to do it because you see success for it. And if you guys notice, you can see a good 6-month chunk between when I made Let It Go to when I started making videos after that, because I needed that long to figure out, did I really want to do this? Did I want to give up this life I was working towards that I was happy for to go after this other one that I could be achieving these dreams I never even knew I had, but it was going to be a lot tougher, but the rewards could be even higher. So it just took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did it.
I think we all are.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Golly gee. It's my final question. This is a question I like to ask everybody. If there was a song in your heart, and clearly there is, what would the name of the song be?
The name of the song would probably be called Spreading a Smile.
Aww.
That's probably what it would be called. And yeah, because that's kind of been my mantra. I always say my day is successful if I can make at least one person smile.
Aww. I love that. That's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Aw, well, I don't want to take up any more of your time because I know we're going on an hour here. Do you mind, real quick before we go, do you mind just saying you're listening to Alicyn's Wonderland, the show is great, or like something like that? I'm Brian Hull, and like you're listening to Alicyn's Wonderland, something like that.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Brian Hull, and y'all are listening to Alicyn's Wonderland. You picked the right podcast. It's real awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any
You're
more
welcome.
upcoming events that people can check you out at this in the next couple weeks? Obviously probably online, but maybe or any future things this summer that you can announce yet? Or should we just stay tuned on your page?
I guess really stay tuned on the page and everything, because there's a lot of stuff happening. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. So be ready for that. I don't know how much of it I'm allowed to announce yet, so I should err on the side of safety and don't do it. But otherwise, make sure you see Hotel Transylvania Transformania in theaters July 23rd.
I cannot wait. I'm going to see it in theaters for sure, for sure.
Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm about this close to getting, like, I'm going to go rent a theater for, like, all of my family and personal friends and stuff, and it's going to be like, I just want everyone to be in the room and together and watch it.
Yes. Oh my God, you have to. Universal hug.
Yeah.
I wish I could give you a hug. I'll give you like a virtual hug.
Yeah, we'll do a virtual hug.
Virtual hug. Virtual hug.
Virtual.
Ah! It's hard to like, it's like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Hug. Yeah, there we go.
Well, this was absolutely delightful, Brian. Thank you so much for generously donating your time, coming on the show. And thanks to everybody that tuned in live. I hope you tune in. In 2 weeks, we have Eric Lopez from The Simpsons, Trollstopia, Young Justice. And then we have Max Middleton. Sorry, not Middleman. He's not the middleman. From One Punch Man and a million other animes, as well as tons of shows on Disney and Nickelodeon. So we hope to see you soon. And check out Brian's cameo. Okay. All right, guys. See you next week or in 2 weeks. Bye.